It was very interesting, Anjli, because we had Aramco 2 days ago, as I know you guys spoke of them as well. And then we had Shell yesterday, and Aramco indicated they thought the market was fine, not particularly tight. Shell said, no, it's kind of tight. Prices would imply that things are getting a little bit tight out there, are they not?
So the CEO of Aramco's comments, they're much the same as what the Saudi energy minister also said over the weekend, that they feel that the market is not demanding any more oil than what is out there. This was actually some of the reasoning behind why producers have not been ramping up as much as people had expected. Let's remember that in June, Khalid Al-Faleh had said that countries could ramp up by 1 million barrels a day. And obviously, we haven't quite seen that, and we're wondering why. So this is also part of why oil prices have been rising. You know, one eye has always been on Iran and how severe these sanctions that are due to come into effect in November will be on Iranian exports. And at the same time, how much can big producers such as Saudi Arabia, Russia, and others actually step in? And that's why we're seeing what we're seeing in the oil market right now.
Well, the Saudi Aramco CEO telling us that, yeah, we could go up to 12 million barrels a day if they needed to. It would take about 3 months to get there, or 3 months rather, to get there. But the market clearly seems to be indicating, Anjli, that they don't expect a whole lot of new oil to be coming on the market anytime soon.
While Saudi Arabia has, said that they've got an extra 1.5 million barrels a day of spare capacity, it's also bullish in a sense, because if you are ramping up and using that additional spare capacity that remains in the market, where is the extra buffer after that? If producers around the world do ramp up, let's say there is another big blowout in Venezuela or Libya or elsewhere, who comes in at that point? Which is why actually the supply capacity situation right now is also being watched very carefully by the market.
And do you think that there is going to be any new spare capacity maybe put on from anybody but Saudi Arabia? Is there anybody else out there, Anjli, that could fill that gap?
So there are countries here and there, and obviously there's a lot of attention now being paid to the neutral zone, which is shared by both Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. But there isn't huge amounts more that can come on immediately. But depends, it could mean that countries have to sit there and now invest for the longer term. But these things take years and years to come online. So we could be seeing prices going a lot higher. There's a big energy conference going on in Singapore right now, and big global oil traders are talking about seeing $100 oil.
Anjli, last night we had NBC Nightly News' Lester Holt speaking with the head of Iran. I want you to listen to a soundbite from it and respond, because Lester Holt of NBC asking Iran's Rouhani what exactly they may do, and he referred to the Strait of Hormuz possibly being shut down. Listen to this and then respond.
Some of the statements from Iranian officials have given the impression that Iran might move to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, to block all exports from the Persian Gulf. Is that something that you would consider?
If the United States wishes to use force in order to sanction the petroleum industry of Iran, it will certainly see the appropriate response. We do have the power to secure our own waterways and keep our waterways free.
All right, so Anjli, there you go. I mean, Rouhani of Iran effectively saying, we're going to do what we have to do. It's our strait, and we'll do what we want. The oil market is not going to like those comments, I don't think.
No, the Strait of Hormuz is an incredibly important oil choke point. Huge amounts of oil goes from the Middle East, from there to Asia and elsewhere. And yes, it would be a massive security threat. The question is, how serious are they? Because you've seen lots of hardliners in Iran make this threat in recent weeks and months. But it's a case of rhetoric as well. You've seen Iran come out very hard, but that's also because it's in response to the US saying they want to cut exports to zero at all costs. So everyone's trying the sort of shock and awe tactic. Everyone wants to go in very, very hard. And it's a question of, who blinks first.